Alright, so this quick little video is going to talk about more problems about dividing fractions by modeling. And the thing that I wanted to talk about, this quick little concept, is if I have a little candy bar just like this, one whole candy bar, that one entire candy bar represents one whole. Now if I have a group of students, like right here, the class of students right here, or a group of people, and I wanted to share that with them, I can say that if I wanted to share this candy bar with these students, I can say that not all of them will get one whole bar, but all of them can get a fraction or a piece of the whole bar. Okay, so that's just one of the concepts I want to talk about. They can't have a whole bar, but each student can get a piece or a fraction of the whole bar of candy. Alright, so let's try this first problem. The first problem is going to be 1 over 6 divided by 4 over 7. Let's take note of the denominators. We've got a 6 and a 7. So if I want to create a model, I'm going to create a model that is 6 boxes high, 7 boxes long. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 boxes high by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 boxes long, based off of the denominator. So this little box right here represents one whole. And it's going to represent, we want to show 1/6 from this one whole. So I want to take a look at my denominator, which is a 6. And I want to put a 6 on the side that has 6 boxes. So this side, the left-hand side of my little model has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I'm going to put a 6 right here. But I'm going to take note that that is 6 rows. I've got 6 rows. Here's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 rows inside of my model. My numerator, which is the top number, tells me to shade one row. So I'm going to shade one entire row. So once I shade it, this model shows 1/6. One shaded row out of a total of 6 rows. Now that I do that, let's go ahead and draw that same exact 6 by 7 model. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And let's label this one. That's still one whole, but I want to show 4/7. Let's take note of the denominator, which is a 7. And I'm going to place the 7 on the side of the model that has 7 boxes. So the bottom part has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 boxes. So let's place the 7 down here. Now let's take note, that is 7 columns because it's going up and down. And the numerator says I should shade 4 columns. So here's one column. Here's the second column. Here's the third column. And here's the fourth column. So that means 4/7. Now what I want to do is I want to ask myself, how many times can 4/7 go into 1/6? Now if I look at it, all of the blue that I've selected, this makes one entire group. So let's count all the blue squares. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. 24 squares make a whole group. And 24 squares cannot fit inside of these red squares. So I'm not going to get a whole group, I'm going to get a fraction, which is less than 1. So I'm going to give myself a fraction bar down here. And let's remember that fractions are part on the top and whole on the bottom. Now, the part of my fraction will be the 7 boxes that's in red, because that's the part that I want to fill. The whole part of my fraction is the stuff that's in blue, which is 24. Because that 24 squares makes a whole group, and I can only fit 7 of them. So my final answer would be 7 over 24. Now we can write our final answer as 4/7 goes into 1/6, 7/24 times. Alright, so let's try another example. Let's try 1/3 divided by 5/6. We're going to ask ourselves how many times can our 5/6 go into our 1/3, and we're going to do that using models. So let's take note of the denominator. The denominator in the first fraction, or our dividend, has 3, and the denominator in our divisor has 6. So we're going to create a model that is 3 boxes high by 6 boxes long. So there's 3, 4, 5, 6. So that box represents one whole. And I want to show 1/3. So I'm going to take note of my denominator again, which is a 3. And I'm going to place a 3 on the side that has 3 boxes. So that's the left-hand side. And I'm going to take note, that has 3 rows. My numerator says, let's shade one of the rows. So let's shade one entire row. So once I do that, my fraction model now shows 1/3. Because I have 1 shaded out of a total of 3. For our next fraction bar, let's go ahead, or fraction model, let's go ahead and draw the same exact model, which is a 3 by 6. So there's 3, 4, 5, 6. Same model size. But now I want to show 5/6. So let's take note of our denominator. Now we have a 6. Let's place the 6 on the side that has 6 boxes. So that would be the bottom. And this doesn't mean 6 boxes, it means 6 columns. My numerator says I need to shade 5 columns. So my top number says shade 5. So let's shade 5 columns. Here's 1 column, 2 columns, 3 columns, 4 columns, and 5 columns. Now that we've finished our models, let's ask ourselves how many times can the blue, which is 5/6, go into the red, which is 1/3. Now if I count all the total amount of squares that make a blue, this makes one full group, all of the blues. Now I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. 15 squares make a whole group. Now if I look at it, I cannot fit 15 squares into the red, which means my answer is going to be a fraction, less than 1. And let's remember that fractions are part on top over whole. So part of my fraction will be the red squares in my first model. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 squares, so that becomes part of my fraction. Now the total amount, or the whole of my fraction, would be the blue squares, because that makes a total group. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. I've got 15 on the bottom. But we have to make sure we reduced. Let's divide the top and bottom by 3. 6 divided by 3 is 2. And 15 divided by 3 is 5. So my final answer is 2/5. So when we write the final answer, we can say 5/6 goes into 1/3 2/5 times.